Assalamu alaikum and welcome, my dear brothers and sisters, to another episode of Stories of Kings. Today, we're going to talk about an old Arab king. And this king had a minister, and usually they would choose someone that's very wise, that's always they're able to consult and gain great wisdom from that person as their ministers. So he had a minister that was a very wise person. And while that minister was home, and usually kings, different people from different tribes would like to give them gifts so that they're close to them and they're dear and loved by them. So a man comes from a village far away with two things, because kings, especially Arabian kings, love horses and they love eagles. I mean, they always like to go hunting and stuff and like to travel. So there's certain kind of horses. Again, if you go to something like the Kentucky Derby, you're going to find that horses are worth sometimes millions of dollars. So, horse is something that's very prestigious, not just an animal the way a lot of us see it. And the same thing with eagles. Eagles in some areas cost over hundreds of thousands, and it's because of what they do and how strong they are and what they mean. It's a form of prestige, especially to kings and princes. So this man comes and gives a horse and this amazing eagle as a gift to the king. And the king says, "Well, thank you, sir, very much." And he says, "My king, I want you to know that this is one of the best breeds of horses. This is not a normal horse. And this eagle is one of the greatest breeds of eagles. And because I love you so much, this is why I give you the best of what I have." And the king was so happy and gave him so much gold as compensation and said, "Thank you. I really appreciate it." And that helped build good rapport and good relationship with that person from that area and his people. And then the minister comes to the king, and the king says, "Hey, by the way, while you're away, a person from this village stopped by and he gave me a couple of gifts." He said, "Wow, you deserve the best, my king." He says, "Well, it was a horse and an eagle. I want you to go look at them and tell me what you think." He said, "It's the best of breeds." "I don't know the best of breeds, so you're my minister. You go tell me if it's the best of breeds. It's telling me the truth." He said, "Sure." And he went, he inspected the horse, inspected the eagle, looked at them. And again, he's a wise person with a lot of experience. He comes back and says, "My king, you're absolutely right. He gave you the best breed of horses and the best breed of eagles. But," the king said, "But what? I'm glad it's the best breed, but you said, but what do you mean, but?" He said, "Well, the horse was not raised in a stable with other horses. The horse was raised with cows. The eagle was not raised with other eagles. He was raised with chickens." And the king is like, "Oh my God, how the heck do you even come up with this stuff that you're saying?" He said, "I'm telling you, my king, the horse was raised with cows and that eagle was raised with chickens." And the king said, "Hold on, time out, time out. You just sit here." And he ordered his soldiers and says, "Go and find that man." And they went, and the man was traveling back, and they got him, and they said, "The king wants to see you now." So he had to turn back, and they brought him back to the king, and king asked him, "You give me the best of breeds of horses and best breeds of eagles, so thank you." He said, "Yes, my king, the best only for my king." He said, "But is it true that you raised the horse with cows and you raised the eagle with chickens?" And the man was shocked. He said, "Actually, yes, my king." He said, "Well, explain." He looked at the minister. Now the king is shocked. He looks at the minister. It's like, "How did you even guess or figure that out?" He said, "My king, easy. Because when a horse eats or chews food, it chews with the front of its mouth. The front teeth is how it chews. But what does a cow do? A cow chews sideways all of its food. And the way the horse was eating is it was chewing sideways the way cows do. And an eagle is very powerful. I mean, its beak is so powerful that it rips through the flesh of animals and tears it. So it digs in very hard. But what do chickens do? Chickens are so weak, so they just peck little pieces like this." He said, "This is a very powerful eagle, but when it was eating, it was pecking like chickens. So that's why I knew it was raised by chickens." So what's the moral of the story? The moral of the story is when we live and surround ourselves by people, we turn out to be just like those people. If I was to surround myself with pessimistic people, victim mentality people, "Oh my God, everybody hates us. I don't know why people hates us. Life is so tough. Life is so bad. I have the worst bad luck in the world." Guess what's going to happen to me a few days later? I'm going to be exactly identical to them. I'm going to be the most negative person with the most negative ideas, and only bad things happen to me. And oh my God, why is this happening to me? And if I live not with victims, but with victors, people that have that victor mentality, not that victim mentality, that they deserve the best and they can do the best and they could be successful and that they can try and they have that creative idea and creative juices and they always want to do something new. And even when they get hit, they get up and try something better. Then after a while, I'm going to find myself being a stronger, more powerful, more optimistic person by surrounding myself by people that are optimistic. If you want to be rich, if you want to run business, what do you do? Surround yourself by broke people? Absolutely not. When you are around rich people and wealthy people and business people, just sit and listen. And you're going to see how they talk and how they think. And I was just driving by this property and I saw this property. And I think if I buy it and flip it and take this and invest this money and I have those investors and I have this, I can do this. Trucking is a good industry right now. And if I put this and I buy this truck for so much and I drive it and do this, I can make this much money. And you're just sitting there like, wow, I didn't realize how easy and how much fun it is to get into business. Just being around those business people, you're going to learn to be better. If you let yourself go and you're unhealthy and whatever, maybe I smoke and I eat a lot of sugar and a lot of salt and I gain so much weight and pre-diabetic and pre-whatever-etic and but I'm around people that love to go to the gym, love to work in the morning. They love to play soccer. They love to play tennis. They love to run in the morning. And just by sitting with them and seeing the energy that they have of going to the gym and working out and exercising and running, guess what's going to happen? Little by little, I'm going to grow. And of course, the most important thing is my faith. When I surround myself with people that love to read the Quran and love to pray and love to give for the sake of Allah. Well, there's this, organization that helps orphans, and I just gave them $20, commitment of $20 a month, and I give them this, and you're sitting there like, I want to be like those people. So surround yourself by people that love Allah and love to give and love to help and love to pray and love to fast and love to read the Quran, and you're going to find it be easier. And I'll conclude with a story that I've mentioned before, which is I remember one time it was the month of Ramadan, and it was a very happy Ramadan because I think in that Ramadan, if I remember correctly, I was going to be able to complete the Quran 3 times. Usually I'd read it one time if I'm lucky, 2 times, but this is probably the first Ramadan when I was going to be able maybe to complete the Quran 3 times. And I'm like, yes, I am the greatest Muslim in the world. I'm going to read the Quran 3 times in one Ramadan. There is nobody better than me in the world. But I'm just saying it in myself. I'm not boasting outside with it. Anyway, I go to the masjid and we have an imam, and the imam was very, very sad. MashaAllah, he has a PhD from Al Azhar University in Egypt, very pious, very knowledgeable imam. And he looked very upset. It was like the 24th, 25th night of Ramadan, and he was very upset. And I'm like, Imam, what's wrong? How come you're not happy? He said, well, Bashir, usually, I can't remember the exact number, but I think it was around. He said, every time in the month of Ramadan, since I was a little child, I will read the Quran 43 times. I said, what? He said 43 times. Once every day and a couple of times in the Taraweeh, and I do this and I do that. And he says, this is the first year that I'm not gonna complete it more than 30 times. I just sat there like, oh my God. And even though I felt that I was at my best and my maximum reading 3 times, I was very quickly humbled that no, I could do much better. I deserve to be better. And if I surrounded myself around people like that, I will be always doing better. So the moral of the story, surround yourself with people that are positive, that are successful in this world, and are also successful in investing in the hereafter, in the akhirah. May Allah bless you.